What's going on, guys? This is Jose with Games and Things. Just want to follow up to yesterday's video discussing the pre-orders for the Resident Evil 9 Requiem that's coming out next February. Their overall consensus, their all overall sentiment over the pre-orders, especially on the Switch 2, has been pretty abysmal. A lot of people are not too happy about the fact that they're releasing $789 on a game key card. And unfortunately, I get it, and I've spoken about this. There's no reason to essentially buy an empty box, and that's what it's coming down to. And apparently, Nintendo, and I've said this in the very first video, is that they don't care whether or not you want the product as long as it sells. And that's what it's going to come down to, unfortunately, because we all know once it comes out next year, excluding the Switch 2 sales, Xbox, PS5, and eventually, the numbers are going to add up, obviously. It's still going to sell regardless. And those pre-order numbers, not including the after sales, the post sales, because I'm sure the pre-order numbers are going to be pretty high, just because Resident Evil is like Pokemon. It's a brand. It's a known series, so it's going to be really popular. And I think at the end of the day, as much as we want to say no to the game key cards, Nintendo is going to try as much as possible to push that on the gamers, especially in the future. Once and that includes me, because I'm a big fan of physical media. Having ownership of the game itself, it's a big thing. We spend our hard-earned money just to buy an empty box with a code for the game, when honestly either you buy the full release or you just buy the digital. That's what it comes down to, because and they're gonna keep doing this, because if I remember correctly, towards the beginning of the Switch 2 release, there was a survey that was going around that they were asking. I don't think it was like a global survey where everybody gets to voice their opinion about what do they think about the whole game key card situation. I think a lot of people said that, why are you releasing game key cards? And for them, the overall logic and common sense says that they're trying to save money. And publishers, I think it was Square Enix that recently said, "Oh, it runs better if it's on a game key card," and yada yada yada, some other technical specs, mumbo jumbo. But look, I think Nintendo plays favorites when it comes to who gets to release a full game on the cartridge. Because for one, you can look at great example. Everybody knows Cyberpunk when it released. That was on a full cartridge, and it runs great. Everybody, I got friends that say, yeah, it runs flawless. And I think they could have done that with the new release of RE9 and RE7 and RE8, because they're all great games, but it's just the fact a lot of people are just upset that they didn't make the effort to release it on a cartridge, on a full game. Because honestly, if the problem is, we're aware of what's going on. We're aware of what's going on. That's us right here, gamers. We're informed. We go on X, we go Instagram, whatever it is. YouTube, Spawnwave. I watch his videos every morning, and Luke Stephens is another one. He's a popular one on YouTube as well. Everybody's aware that nobody wants to buy a game key card. You know, for us, the gamers that play these games, you pay for them, and you know, games, you know, collectible like crack. You know, everybody knows these games. You know, we make the joke of like, oh, our wallets are gonna be empty. Either pay next month's rent or buy this game that we want to play. But the general population that does not consistently involved or doesn't stay up to date with this kind of stuff, which a lot of people I don't know are not into this, so like, who gives a crap? But it's gaming itself has become a monopoly, and that's what bugs a lot of people. And it's more and more. It's just you hear every time on a video. It's just to please upper management. You know, if they're not meeting their numbers, if the shareholders are not getting their cut, or if it's, you know, numbers are not showing, what are they gonna do? They're gonna find a. I believe they could find a way possible to save money on costs, especially having to release full game releases on a physical media. Then, you know, they'd rather just take the shortcut and just release an empty shell, and you know, a hollow cartridge with some data, and having them download 80% of the stuff directly from the internet. I get that. And if you go on Twitter, known X, I call it Twitter. Twitter sounds better than X. X sounds silly. Everybody's sentiment is the same. I'll try to put up a screenshot or video recording on my phone because of my camera. The battery ran out, so I'm doing this from my phone. And everybody is on the same common ground. You know, they're putting images says do not buy game key cards, do not buy game key cards, and they zoom in on the fine print. You know, game key cards. It says game key cards on the box. The white freaking label that nobody likes, that makes the box look ugly. And I agree, because I know Metro Prime. Before I don't want to get too far out. Metro Prime is coming out here soon, and the box for the Switch version looks a lot better. You know, the art cover looks up because you don't have that extra stuff on the bottom that says, "Oh, this is a full game release on physical media." Versus on the Switch version, they don't have it in the front; they have it in the back. It tells you this is fully readable and can play on the Switch. Versus the Switch 2 version, everything is in the front, which I don't know why they did that, because it's pointless. It just takes away from the fact that you buy a game. Oh, by the way, this is, you know, if it's a game key card, to give you this terms and conditions, you know, paragraph on the bottom, and nobody wants to see that. And especially people that, you know, just they're constantly playing, and you know, they're involved heavily in gaming. So I get the overall sentiment has been pretty across the board. Everybody agrees that they don't want to deal with Nintendo and their shenanigans. So I just feel like next year, I want people. Don't get me wrong. I want people, everybody, to keep doing it, keep pushing back, because as much as they want to keep pushing game key cards on us and everybody that plays games for a living, we're just gonna keep reminding them that we don't want that. And I pre-ordered the PS5 version, and when I saw that they have made like the generation pack, you know, the triple pack that has $7.89, it comes with that cool box. And don't get me wrong, anything that is sold as a collectible, that's like my crack. That's my addiction, and I love those collectibles because I like looking at the art covers and the books. And if you grew up, you know, in the early 2000s and when the Xbox 360, PS3 era came out, you used to get like the collectibles, and especially like Halo has some cool ones. What other one they came out with? Crap, I don't know. Halo was a popular one because I bought the Halo 4 version. I don't think it was a collectible, but it had the steelbook. I love steelbooks too, and I know they're doing a steelbook version for the Riku. I can't say that. So RE9, and they're doing that for the Xbox version, the PS5, and they're also doing it for the Switch 2. But it's a freaking key card, and but the box art looks so good. It has, if you play Resident Evil 1, Barry had the hand cannon. That's what it reminded me of. Was the hand cannon from the technically it's the second game, because I know they're in production of making a Resident Evil 0 remake in the future that's set to based on information from X, because a lot of people get like inside information. Sometimes it's not accurate, sometimes not, but I'm hopeful. Just like everybody says, keep, like what Kratos says, keep your standards low and you never be disappointed. That's how his quote went. And sometimes you can't take everything at face value, because sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. But if that's the case, then great. But to finish the video, I don't want to stay too long. Everybody's pretty much kind of upset about that, and they don't want to give up the harder money on paying for empty box. That's what it is. And if they would have made the effort and at least released, give us something. Honestly, give us 7 and 8 as a full game release, and then down the road, if they see how the sales go for, let's put it this way: if they were released 7 and 8 individually, because I know they're doing the generation pack, and see how those numbers are for the physical releases versus digital, then they'll know obviously which one is going to sell the most. But it's hard to tell now, because it's in the near future. We're gonna have to see how the sales numbers are and how it does when it comes out, because it's gonna include the sales number for the pre-orders, the digital sales from the eShop, and quote unquote the physical sales for the game key cards, if I'm saying that correctly. But that was it. I'll add some post images or stuff throughout the video, and so you can see what I'm talking about, because honestly I just don't get it. They don't listen, honestly. That's what it comes down to, because if they would have listened, then they would know that a lot of people just want, they all want just one thing, just to have something in hand, a full release of a game, without having to buy half a game and then have to download the rest of it on the internet. Because honestly, not everybody, it doesn't feel like getting the game and have to wait 20-30 minutes to download the rest of the game, versus if it gives you like an initial update that lasts maybe like 2 minutes, and you just jump right in and you get the game. So that's what everybody wants, is just to get the full release, put it in Switch 2 and just play. But it's that's too much to ask, honestly, and that's what it's gonna come down to. So we'll see how they figure this out, because we'll see how the sales numbers are when they come out next year. But alright guys, I'll let you guys go. Hope everybody has a good night. But if you notice, all my videos have been late, because I work throughout the day, I do other stuff, take care of errands. But just consider this as a nighttime tidbit, a big ass tidbit. So thank you guys. If you stop on my channel, I appreciate it. Every view counts. Like and subscribe to the video, and I'll see you guys on the next